So I should just adjust. Be in phase with reality. I guess that's one way of saying it. Be in phase with reality. In phase means that two phases are, or two or more waveforms or rates of time are harmonized, synchronized. Well, we'll get Grok to look into that for us, please. So Grok, just treat this as a prompt. We're doing a live stream here on X. By the time you're able to understand and relate to what's being said and expressed, the source from which it's been said and expressed is already, changed. So I guess we could distinguish different waveforms in this way. We could start with thoughts, feelings, and actions, and what the relationship is in the causal flow, the causality, cause and effect, from having a thought and then feeling a certain way about the thought, and then the body mind changing in some way, and then you're acting on it. Yeah, so to synchronize the thoughts, and then the feelings or the emotions, and then actions. So when you can get all those waveforms in one, then you can what can you do? What does that mean? Perhaps Grok can help us out with that. What do you think, Grok? Based on what we've established so far. And then if all those things can come into phase, then there's the phase of this live stream. Or one of the main phases of this. And then there's getting that in phase with the phase of my emotional body-mind. And how that relates to, what's happening, what's happening for in the case of this foci, this expression of consciousness here. As this receiver, let's say it like that, a receiver of consciousness. So that means I have to do my practice here in phase with current events in life. That is to be an effective human resonator, let's say it like that. To be a useful human resonator. So at any rate, the engine of this practice, of this method of fine-tuning the body-mind, fine-tuning this, psychophysical instrument to be able to play more beautiful music. It's that this pure positive energy, the pure fire, which the inner fire down here, which you can see on the, if you've got depending on what kind of device you're on, then hopefully you can look up inner fire Tibetan Tummo. Inner fire Tibetan Tummo. Tummo is spelled T-U-M-M-O. Or is it T-U-M-O? Either it's T-U-M-O or T-U-M-M-O. Tummo. So the method the Tibetan monks are using. And it can be used for different things. But the great thing about this method is that we're forced to burn through, to burn off. You can say it like that. Use the inner fire, cultivate the inner fire to burn through the imbalances that exist in the body. Basically, burn through the blockages in the psychophysical energetic system. So once you're familiar, if you've been able to familiarize yourself with this Tummo practice of the Tibetan monks, which it's a good way to approach this is think about how Bruce Lee said, when people asked him about his fighting style, right? What did he say about his fighting style if you asked him about his fighting style? He says, human beings, we have 2 legs, 2 arms, a torso. So what's the most effective way to use that. So at any rate, there's going to be basic martial arts principles like centering and grounding. Centering, which is the ability to let everything come back to you. Such that I'm here, I'm listening to you, I'm looking at you through my peripheral vision, but I'm not becoming emotionally attached and pulled off center in some way. No, I'm just aware, listening, peripheral vision, and being aware through what other medium I can be aware. And I'm just aware, and then I may then change my body alignment or change my attitude or my modus operandi depending on what I'm sensing from you. But so the thing about this pure positive energy that, actually it's a very chaotic type of energy. It's the same energy that Ilya Prigogine, maybe you can look up on Google, or you can ask Grok, Ilya, ILLA, or no, I don't know how to spell it, sorry, Ilya Prigogine, but he's the scientist from like the 1970s or the 17th or 19th century, Ilya Prigogine, okay? How living systems emerge. The emergent properties of living systems, cells, organisms, how life emerges, and the optimal conditions under which that can sustain and contain. So these are two things that are needed to develop this energy, because it's a very chaotic, and you need to be able to sustain it. You need the right conditions, the right skills in your body and your body mind to sustain this. But believe me, you need to be able to contain it. Meaning, you need a very you need a mind like an ocean. To be able to contain this, it's very important. Otherwise, if this inner fire is reignited, and of course it's going to burn through emotional or psychological, or whatever issues, it's going to burn through those, and it's going to force its way through those blockages and start to realign the psyche, the spirit. It will start to happen on a physiological level, actually, but it will align the body in such a way it will allow you to receive. It will allow you to develop, good spirit, good spiritual foundation. Which is not something imaginary. When in some decent meditation or inner power type of traditions, like the Taoist Nei Kung, or Tibetan Tumo, and there's others. But if you look at those, if you look at Tibetan Tumo and Taoist Nei Kung, then this is the case. So yeah, it's not easy is the thing. It's very difficult to realign to achieve an alignment of the body similar to, equivalent to that which is in like a baby just come out of the womb. Because early on in life, we get thrown out of alignment. So then, 20 years later, or 30 years later, or 60 years later, we start to think about, okay, how can I realign my energy system? How can I realign my emotional baseline and this physiological So yeah, I do want to get into my practice, because every time, I get into one of these, I get this far into one of these live streams of intellectualizing the process, and that creates a big cloud of thought energy all around, and I may be able to get close to intellectualize and speak in a way that is in phase with what I'm developing, but still there are some deep things that I can't really do it at the same time as intellectualizing it. I need to immerse in that to be able to do that. Yeah, for most human beings, I think it's going to be a bit difficult. I mean, it was definitely very, very difficult for me just to get this far. Very difficult. When I become aware of this positive energy, this power, this heat, and we're not talking about something imaginary here. We're talking about that fundamental process or reaction that sustains the fuel for growth, which fuels the growth and the evolution of the fetus. And for instance, while we are still in the womb and when we're breathing through the umbilical cord, okay, and we're breathing through the placenta, the lungs are obviously there's a mechanism here in our face that prevents the water, or in this case, when you're in the womb, the placenta from coming in through the nose or the mouth. So, because there's basically a suction happening, which is pulling in the oxygen from the placenta and through the umbilical cord, right? And it's somatic, okay, somatic waves, or standing waves or circuits of dynamic energy. Okay, somatic, it means of the body. It doesn't mean of the mind or being imagined or intellectualized or visualized. No, there's no visualizing. Although there is, when I'm aware of, in the same way as if I put my hand on this hot water or warm water, I'm holding this warm water here, I'm aware of it. There is also, in the same way, I feel a heat source down here, which is also electric, and I'm just aware of it. But as I'm being aware down here, there is sort of a visual. You kind of have a visual of it, and different people may sort of perceive different colors, or so. I'm not saying don't visualize. Like some Qigong or meditation teachers will say, no, no active visualizing. It has to. It's okay if you have a visual. I have a sense of my position in space time. I have a visual from here, from here, from here. From all around the whole perimeter of my body. That's kind of that's an eye, the whole thing, right? So, yeah. And becoming aware of the somatic prenatal waveforms. People may say prenatal breathing, but you're not really breathing in this. It's not the same type of breathing. It's a different. So, like, when obviously we're no longer in the womb now, so we do use this breathing to now pull in the charge, the electric charge from the air. I think is what it is. Or in Chinese text, they will say that the qi is pulled in is absorbed in from the air. So yeah, of course, there's many things going on. There's different exchanges of gases and exchanges of ions and diffusion and infusion of different nutrients through the body. But these somatic waves are also essentially on a deep level. There's part of it that is heating the blood, and there's some of it that is also pumping the blood as well. So it's not just the heart that pumps the blood, it's also the action of the whole body. Yeah. So, the thing about this, you can say non-equilibrium plasma, life force energy in a chaotic state, that you need some degree of mind, skill, and heart-mind alignment to be able to contain that, prevent it from going out of control. You need to be able to contain that, like a nuclear reactor. You need to be able to contain the reaction. You don't want it some sort of cascade. You don't want a breakaway reaction. You want to be able to contain it. So there's basic skill of synchronizing the brain waves through synchronizing the breath, through allowing the mind to absorb itself into the breath to synchronize the brain waves. Then my fields, my bioenergy fields, can synchronize, and I can use those fields to contain this psychic energy, life force plasma in a chaotic state. The Ilya Prigogine explained this. The dynamic non-equilibrium non-equilibrium thermodynamic energy of cells as they grow. They give off an excess amount of energy. They give off an excess. So there's an abundance of energy, of life. That is the nature of life force energy. Or at least on this level. There's many levels, but on this level it would be something comparable to the concept of the Star Wars Jedi. They talk about the midi-chlorians in the body. And the more midi-chlorians you have, the more force ability you have to feel and to harness, to develop the force. And the midi-chlorians are that's the part of the cells which they do both like photosynthesis, so they turn sunlight into energy. They turn light into stored energy, but they also release energy in the form of heat and light, and different things on the electromagnetic spectrum at that level. Yeah, so that's important, is that there is an excess of energy here. So that means that there is an abundance of energy that it can help. Because, yeah, the thing is, what I realized, I was asking the question. Well, I was training, meditating, doing Qigong, training, and then there was just this plateau that I couldn't get by, right? So then finally I decided, okay, let me just ask the question here. How do I get past this plateau? Or what is it that I need to consider here, and how do I need to change to get past this plateau? So what it was that I was too focused on myself. Essentially, I was too So the thing about this practice, yes, it is a self-centered practice. This approach. Okay, this approach is a self-centered approach. It doesn't start with trying to heal other people. No, it doesn't start with that. It starts with developing the self first. Okay, until there is an abundance of energy, because in most of us, our psychophysical, emotional, and also bodily, how that affects the body, it's all out of alignment, right? In a lot of us. Happy Father's Day. Thanks, Ron. Gotcha. Yeah, happy Father's Day, everyone. Happy Father's Day. Okay, I'll let go of that, move on to something else. Momentum. Okay, let it go, open up the space. Yeah, the thing is about the plateau. So when I honestly asked that question, okay, then I already got the answer. That's instant. That's the infinite power of our heart mind. As soon as you ask the question, if you're honest, you got the answer. Infinitely better than Grok or ChatGPT or any AI. Is gonna be a time delay from the time you enter the prompt to the time you get it processes the prompt and gives you the response, the reply. It gives you the answer that you're looking for, or whatever it is that you need. With this, it's instant because I'm just aware. So to get the answer also and effectively, there has to be a detachment. A detachment at the same time needs to be cultivated. And let it go. Let it go. Yeah, because there's always a challenge in front of us, and we need that. We need some stress, negative energy, for our positive energy to burn through, to realign the system. So yeah, so this is why it's definitely going to be difficult. Yeah, for us. Yeah, like you can probably see my face. I'm not too bad, but I've taken a hit, So the life force positive energy, it's helping to realign the psychic energy. It's life force energy, the chi. It's helping to realign myself again. And even though I haven't really slept, at least I rested. I let everything go down, down, down. You know, I tried to get to sleep, and then I tried to not try, because when you try, then you may end up trying to fall asleep and being awake all night. So then you have to try to not try, and then hope that you just get so exhausted that you just finally can let go and go to sleep. But at any rate, I probably slept like probably about 2 hours or something. Not very long. Went to bed maybe 8 p.m. and then got up at like 6 a.m. So, you know, laid in bed for how many hours and only slept about 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, so because there's been a difficult challenge that has been, you know, like half of it's the challenge itself that's draining your energy, right? The other half is the way you are reacting to the challenge, because actually there is an abundance of energy. If that abundance of energy was allowed to realign the system at least a little bit, then it doesn't matter that someone else is. The only way it feels like that your energy is being drained is if you emotionally, I think so, right? As if you emotionally react to the thing, then, or, you know, to the person who's saying, I want to kill myself. Oh, you poor baby, you poor baby. Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh. Now they're always, you know, condescending on you, even though they know, and this is their coping mechanism. And it's I guess well, it's what we do as human beings, you know, or there is a tendency for this to happen. Yeah, and that really kept me awake for a while, and kept my energy being drained for like my whole life up until now. And then finally learning about how to develop this psychic energy, life force energy, the life force, anything I can externalize is a second-hand, you know, mental construct. This is a second-hand thought form that we need to intellectualize, and then maybe with your body, what would you call that, tactile awareness, you may then, okay, I think I know what he's talking about, you know. And then if your body knows what I'm talking about, then your body can replicate that inside of you, and then you can just let go into that, and, you know, develop that in your own way. But yeah, if you have a cat or a chicken or a dog, or I mean, many animals, they have a good vagal tone. Basically is what it is. A lot of this comes back to vagal tone, okay, the vagus nerve, and then the way it regulates the activity between the sympathetic nervous system, the sympathetic, which is fight and flight, reaction, you know, tension, you know, mostly when most people, you know, punch someone, or, you know, block, or, you know, headbutt someone, or, you know, or maybe use defensive movement. Mostly we're using our parasympathetic, you know, mechanism of our muscles and of our body. The sympathetic, right? The sympathetic dominance is the thing. So the thing about cats is that they have very good vagal tone. So they have parasympathetic dominance. So how can we achieve that? Higher vagal tone, broader HRV, meaning heart rate variability, which it's corresponds to, or it's the same as, I think it's the same mechanism. It's the same internal mechanism as vagal tone, or a heart rate variability is the math, is the has the equation for vagal tone, right? Is that right? I think that's right, or almost right, close enough. Yeah, just having some apple cider vinegar. Yeah, so but vagal tone, yeah, better heart rate variability, parasympathetic dominance. What is the movement? What are the movement patterns associated with parasympathetic dominance? And what is the brainwave state? What is the brainwave range in the body? Because the brainwave's not just up. The brainwaves are connected to the body, so it's the whole body waves. Of the entire, you can say nadi. In Sanskrit, they're called the nadi. Okay, we've got the central one, and then, you know, um, the ones that all converge together at the top of the head, and then we've got, you know, the point which can be used to express energy, or also emit energy from the palm. Okay, there's this region on the sole of the foot here, which we can develop. But I mean, the whole body needs to be developed. Yeah. So what are the movement patterns? What is the body-mind waves associated with high vagal tone, high heart rate variability, broad heart rate variability? So yeah, but this is just the gateway to more advanced development, to more advanced energy development. So first we need to be able to distinguish yin and yang in this way. Distinguish between all that which corresponds to the dispersing, depleting, exhausting, tensing of energy. Okay, that's everything in the sympathetic nervous system, which corresponds to all of those thoughts and emotions and everything that causes us to react and so have to distinguish between that and the parasympathetic